side slightly above. So Jacob's now going to talk about trends, terms, and options.
So first up, we're going to talk about vanity cabinets. Obviously, you got kind of your standard cabinets, what you normally see. Another big trend is more of a kind of a furniture style vanity cabinet. Sometimes you'll see them completely open on the bottom there. Other times you will have storage there. They're great. Can also be a very cost-effective option. A lot of times you can find a standalone furniture vanity that comes with its own top with the sink attached already. Usually going to save a decent amount of money over doing a vanity and buying a different top for it. One thing to keep in mind with it is it does require some extra cleaning because now you have the underneath that's completely open, so you got to get down there, dust, clean. So stuff to keep in mind. Next up, countertops. So kind of the two kind of budget-friendly options are obviously laminate countertops. They've come a long ways since the late 80s, early 90s. Some great profiles. You don't have to see the square edge anymore. You can get a rounded edge on them. Kind of the next up is Corian, so it's a solid surface product. Comes in a ton of different designs. We typically shy away from it in kitchens because it doesn't react well with heat, but in bathrooms it can be a great option. Again, more budget friendly. Moving on from there, we have quartz and granite. Those are probably the two most popular choices right now. I get a lot of questions as far as what's the difference between quartz and granite. I've heard quartz is better than granite and vice versa. In terms of performance, they both perform about the same. Granite does need to be sealed. However, the sealers that come with it nowadays last years and years and years, and it's really a quick and easy process to reseal it. So it really comes down to kind of personal preference. A lot of quartzes mimic natural stones in granite. In terms of price point, real similar. Granite's going to have a wider range, so it's going to go a little bit lower, and it can go quite a bit higher if you find a real rare stone that you fall in love with. Those are kind of the two options. In terms of sinks, over here you'll see what's called a vessel style sink. 5 years ago they were super popular. They're tending to kind of fall out of trend right now. They look really cool. A lot of the feedback we get from people is they're just not that usable. You get a lot of splash up. Now you have not only the inside of the sink that you need to clean, but the exterior as well. So it's one of those things that looks really cool on paper, but once you start to use it, you kind of go, I don't know. And then here we have an example of kind of a modern integrated top. So the countertop and the sink are all one unit. Really great in kind of areas where you don't have a ton of space, because it really frees up that space and gets everything into one unit there. The most popular still is going to be the undermount. We do a few overmount sinks, kind of top mount, but most people are opting for an undermount sink. It just creates real clean lines on the countertop, but also when it does come time to clean the countertop up, it's real easy. Now you're just wiping everything in there instead of trying to wipe up against the lip of the sink and then trying to clean that there. Last couple here are kind of more of the standalone sink. It's more of a kind of a retro look. Looks really cool. Gives you accessibility too, kind of from that universal design principle. The one thing to keep in mind then is you are losing that under cabinet storage with that option. So if you do go that route, you definitely want to plan where that storage is going to shift. In terms of shower surrounds, so kind of the basic that we see is what we call an acrylic or a fiberglass surround. They've come a long ways since kind of that builder basic off-whites, not very usable surround. A lot of great options out there now that have built-in storage. Like this one has a curved back to kind of give it some depth. Also some cool models now that actually have a feature strip that runs through them that you can actually pick out your own featured tile, whether that be a mosaic or something, and inlay it within the acrylic surround to kind of add that own personal style to it. Next option up is what we call a cultured stone or cultured marble. So this is a man-made product. Typically mimics a natural stone. One of the big advantages of this is it's all sealed. There's no grout lines, super easy to clean. Maintenance is real simple with these units. The most popular still is a tile surround. So I just want to kind of touch a little bit as far as what the underlayment that goes behind that tile is. Used to be it was just moisture resistant drywall. Not a great option. I'm sure if you guys have torn out an older shower, you've seen kind of the havoc that can reap. Then it moved along to cement board, a little bit better, but still wasn't a waterproof surface because all tile has some porosity to it, so it's going to take some water over time. Then the trend was to apply a roll-on waterproof membrane over that. Again, now you're relying on that I've applied the right millimeters of thickness, etc. What a lot of people have moved to now is more of a hybrid system. There's a few of them on the market. The one we use is Weedy. This is actually an example of it right here. So it's
Supporting the TV?
It is. It's a 100% waterproof product all the way through. So even if you get a nick that doesn't go all the way through, it's still waterproof. Comes in various thicknesses. So Joe's got an example of the 2-inch thick there. And that can actually be structural. So when we build a bench, say in a shower, we build it completely out of that. So there's no wood within the shower area that can eventually be affected by any water. So there's a proprietary sealant that we use. When we put these panels together, we
Nate's
apply.
actually doing it in the picture there.
Yep, so you apply a bead of sealant to each edge, put it together, and then you apply another bead. So he would be going back through this corner and reapplying a whole nother bead. Same thing over the top of all of the screw holes there. And along with that, all those products come with pre-manufactured shower pans that are made of the same material that we can actually cut to size. So it used to be you had to do it was basically a cement bed mortar mix that was made on site. It took a couple days, a few different steps. Now these go down. We can have all the underlayment and waterproofing done in a day and be set in tile that same day. So another thing to keep in mind, and something we do in all our showers, is even if we're not going to be adding grab bars at this time, is to go ahead and get all of the solid backing in at the correct heights. And then go ahead and take photographs holding the tape measure up so you know exactly where that's at. So the time ever comes down the road, you need that extra support. It's really easy. You have the solid backing in there. You can go ahead and install those grab bars. Some examples of tiled showers there. Seen a lot more of large format tiles these days. Used to be a lot smaller tiles. 6x6 was kind of the standard. Tons of options out there. Feature strips allow you to kind of add that pop to the shower, kind of really mix your personality in there. You can also run them vertical as well. You don't have to stick with a horizontal feature strip. The vertical is becoming more and more popular. In terms of actual shower pans, again, back to kind of the acrylic pan. Some people don't want tile on the floor. They like the smooth surface. So this is a great option. It can be paired with a tiled surround, an acrylic surround, or those cultured panels as well. And then you have obviously a tile pan. Used to be the rule of thumb was you couldn't go any larger than a 2x2 tile in the shower pan. And that's because those old shower pans sloped from every angle to the drain. With these new products, they actually slope linearly from each corner. So it allows you to do a much larger format tile. You just kind of have to add that extra grout line in along that fall line. But what that allows you to do is actually kind of carry the floor tile pattern into the shower pan and kind of create that seamless, cohesive look. One thing to keep in mind, though, is if you're worried about slipping in the shower or kind of the grip, those smaller tiles definitely provide more grip because you have more grout joints and it's just more kind of surface to grab onto. So it's kind of balancing those two factors. Another popular option is pebbles. These come in usually about 12x12 sheets that fit together, kind of interlock. You can get rounded pebbles or what they call kind of sliced or flat pebbles. That's really kind of a personal preference. Some people like the feel of kind of the rocks underneath their feet. Other people want, I just want a flat surface. I want the look, but I want it to be flat. And then it's just some examples of a project we did. The client really liked the pebbles and wanted to kind of create a flowing river out. So
More pebbles.
more pebbles, yeah. You can ask Nate in the back there. How fun that one was to set and lay out. But it turned out gorgeous. Another thing to keep in mind is shower storage. You don't want to remodel your bathroom, have this gorgeous shower, and then take that old white metal shower caddy and hang it up over the shower head. So we do a lot of recessed niches. A lot of remodelers you might want to talk to might just say, hey, we got a 12x12. It's just what we do. Really keep in mind what you're going to put in there for products. So we had a client that they bought all their shampoo at Costco, so they needed a taller niche. So that's what we did. Here we got an example of a wider niche. So we kind of played off the aesthetics to match that up with the window. Here is a tub. So we got one down below, so you can put the bar of soap when you're taking a tub, but another one up high to use when you're taking a shower. So it's kind of figure out what you're going to put in there, what the size of it is, and then really kind of go from there. But also kind of keep aesthetics in mind. We like to plan ours out so they line up with grout joints or kind of centered in grout joints, so they really look purposeful where they're placed, not just kind of haphazard. Another big feature a lot of people want is shower seating. They want some sort of bench, and there's a lot of different options you can go with. This is kind of your standard square bench. No storage underneath. With that Weedy product, we could have made that a floating bench, so you could have had some storage for shampoo bottles underneath there if you wanted. Here's an example of an angled corner bench. Again, kind of minimal, just, this client didn't want a ton of seating. Actually, the wife wanted that for more of a shower shave step. So we do a lot of the corner benches for that. Also have done taking a smaller niche and putting it down low, so it's kind of not sticking out, but it gives you that same feature. Another option is a folding bench. So if you have someone that uses the shower that needs the bench and somebody that doesn't, this is a great option, kind of folds up and out of the way when it's not being used. And then also removable seats. So this is just kind of a teak seat that sits in there, great within the water area. This is actually an example of an acrylic surround that also has a removable bench in there, so that can be switched from either side. So you can get some of these features in those acrylic surrounds. You don't have to go to a full custom tile shower enclosure to be able to accomplish. These are just a couple examples of more accessible showers. So these are really easy to get into. Both were curbless. What you'll see here is accessories now that serve two purposes. 5 years ago, if you wanted a grab bar, it looked like stainless steel grab bar you'd find at a hospital. There wasn't any kind of stylish options. Now most manufacturers are making kind of cross-functional. So these are soap caddies that also serve as grab bars. Over here, there's a shower slide bar that the shower head's on that also serves as a grab bar. If that's an option you're considering, make sure you get a slide bar that is rated for that, because most of them are not. Most of them are just there for that hand shower, and if you do grab it, it will pull out of the wall. In terms of shower doors, you got the good old shower rod. It's still what we recommend for bathtubs. A lot of clients think they want to put some sort of shower door in there, but when we really get down to it and you think about trying to get in, step over the tub and underneath the bar, or if you have a kid in there trying to reach around the door, curtains just tend to make the most sense for bathtubs. Yep, cleaning too. A great option is the curved shower rods. So it gives you a little bit more elbow room, makes it feel a little bit larger, and they're not as closed in. Then next up you have framed shower doors. So with these, you're going to typically have a track on the bottom, on the sides, and another track along the top. They used to not be the most aesthetically pleasing, but a lot of great products out there now. Kohler makes some options that are just gorgeous, from this sliding option here to some really cool pivot options. Definitely something to take a look at. You're going to save money over the next option that we're going to look at, which is going to be a full frameless glass surround. It's definitely probably about 2 to 3 times the price when you step up into that type of surround. But then again, they do look great, especially in a master bath if you're doing kind of a quite extensive shower. That really allows you to make the shower a focal point. It does come with glass options. So over here you'll see kind of an obscured glass. Some people still want that privacy, so you get the frameless look and still keep that privacy as well. This is just an example of frameless sliding shower door as well. Next up, we'll talk shower fixtures. So of course you got the standard shower head that you guys are all familiar with. Another great option we do a lot of are these slide bars that we kind of talked on earlier. Allows you to take a handheld but mount it permanently so you can move it up, down. We have some clients that's what they use as their primary shower head. Others we want to pair it with. Here you can see a regular shower head too, so you have both options there. And it allows you to kind of mount that where you want to see. In this one over here, we mounted over on the side wall. It just made sense the way they were going to use the shower. That's where they would reach. So kind of take in mind how you would use the space when you're placing those fixtures. Body sprays are another popular option. You can kind of, again, pinpoint those wherever you want them at. And then the last one that's super popular right now are the larger rain heads that really kind of immerse you in the water. Now with all these options, there's different ways you can divert the water. There's valves out there so you can turn all these features on at one time. The problem with that is a lot of people's water pressure doesn't support that. So you turn them all on and none of them work very great. So it's important to kind of take into account what water pressure you have when you're making that choice. More often than not, we're doing a diverter valve, so we can turn on the main shower head or we can turn on the hand shower, but not necessarily both at the same time. Here you'll see a picture of a linear drain. So that's becoming more popular. Instead of having a center drain, you got a linear drain that's usually at the edge of the shower. Comes in all different types of finishes. They even have an option where it can be tiled in. So when you're looking at it, it just looks like it's one long shower pan. You don't even see the drain there. And here we'll touch on the curbed versus curbless. So it used to be when you wanted to do a curbless shower, you had to cut down the floor joists, which typically meant some sort of reinforcement. Sometimes needed some engineering to spec out what that would be. Was really kind of a hassle. Required a lot of extra work. But with these new systems, we don't have to alter these floor joists. These pans will come up into a 5x6. If we need to go a little bit larger, like that shower we had, there was a 7-foot. That last foot just didn't slope. But the thought is, if you have a 7-foot shower, you're not getting a ton of water that needs to slope back to the drain at that last area. In terms of cost, we say it really kind of flushes out. The shower pan itself costs a little bit more. The install of the shower pan is a little bit more labor intensive, but now we're not having to tile up and around the shower curb. That also takes quite a bit of time as well. So great option, looks great. Also gives you the flexibility if you ever do need to use that as a roll-in shower later on in life. And we'll touch on bathtubs briefly. 3 kind of standard types of tubs. The alcove tub, so that's going to have 3 walls. You can use all 3 of the different surrounds that we talked about as far as an acrylic surround, cultured stone, or tile for those. Drop-in tubs. Typically you're going to see these with a tiled deck and a tiled surround. There is the option to use a quartz or granite for the tub deck top, but keep in mind that when you're buying quartz or granite, you're paying for the full slab that you're using. So even though you're only seeing a little bit of it, you're paying for all that square footage that you're cutting out for that tub to drop into. Last option is freestanding tubs. Again, a gorgeous, gorgeous option. Works great for some people, but keep in mind you will pay a little bit more money. The tubs themselves are more expensive. The tub fillers are more expensive, and it's more labor intensive to install. Also the cleaning factor, because now you do need to get down and around and clean that. So if you're going to place them, make sure you place them in a spot where you can actually get to them, get behind them, and take care of that. One question we all often get is, hey, we have this large master bathroom, we have this massive corner garden tub, and a tiny little shower. We really want to get rid of the tub, expand the shower. Is that going to hurt us on resale? What we found and what we've heard from talking to the real estate agents that we work with, as long as you have a tub somewhere else in the house, it's not going to hurt your resale value to get rid of that tub in the master bath and put in a larger shower. But if it's the only tub in the house, it's probably a good idea to try to keep some sort of tub in there. In terms of flooring, tiles still the most popular choice in bathrooms, though we are seeing a lot more large format tiles. So over here, these are 24 by 24 tiles that are meant to mimic a natural slate. These are rectangle 12 by 24 tiles here. Also seeing a lot more people want to put in wood plank tiles. So they want that wood look, but we all know that wood and water don't play nice. So this kind of gives you that option to mix in a different look, but keep it as a tile so it's a good substrate for the water. The other type of flooring that we're installing a lot of is called luxury vinyl tile. Really needs a better name because a lot of people start to think of sheet vinyl when you say that. But it's a great product, comes in click together or glue down. It's vinyl based, so it handles water great. Comes in wood and tile look. It's a more cost effective option than tile. Also doesn't give you that same cold feeling, softer and warmer. So you kind of get the look without the negatives.